Hello, CNC brothers and sisters. Happy Wednesday. Here we are. It's another CNC Wednesday hangout. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and over there is.
I'm Kate with Women Who CNC. Hey y'all, how's everybody doing today? Oh man, I'm just
Looks like
like, I don't know. Are you ready for Christmas? I feel like Christmas has snuck up on me this year, and I was just making fun of my husband earlier today because I said, so for those of you who don't know, my birthday is actually on Christmas Day. And he was talking,
remember that, everybody.
yeah, so he was talking about planning something or whatever because it's a big birthday for me this year. Not ashamed to say it. I will be the big 40 this year. So I am. I said, what were my exact words to him? I said, man, it really snuck up on you this year, didn't you? And I said, boy, that pre-planning is really tough. It's really
Ah,
hard to keep up with. And he was like, he's like, I'm doing my best. I was like, mm-hmm.
all right. Okay,
So
well, we got a whole buttload of announcements, but we'll show those in a little while. But
yeah.
yeah, I went to see Kate a couple days ago, and
Hmm.
walked away with a toy for the grandkids, the go kart, and we talked about the table and what we're going to do with that. But we
Yep.
need to say some hello to some brothers and sisters. Okay, why don't you? Um,
Yeah, let's take off. Let's do this. All right. So I see. Oh gosh, let me scroll back up here. Oh man, hold on. I thought I could get to the top real quick and it's
I
been a
said,
minute.
Kate, you're just a child. Look at that, Kate, you're just a child.
Ah, I have to say, Oz sent me a really cool email and he told me all about himself and the things that he's done. He is one very cool individual. So if
Oh
y'all do not know Oz, you should like reach out to him and just connect with him. He's a very cool individual. I think he and the Jack in the Shop could be the best of friends.
yeah.
All right, so Oz is first tonight. He says, "Am I first?" Question mark. Ozark, Alabama is here. 5 hours to go. I love it. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, he showed up first on this feed here. So
Uh-huh.
Julian and I were talking before you popped in, and apparently, technically, Jack beat Oz.
Oh,
Yeah,
little
technically.
competition.
Yeah, well, it doesn't show on our feed here, brothers and sisters. So Oz, on this feed, you still get number one, brother. Uh, but on the YouTube channel, I think Jack just stands there with his phone all Wednesday and probably all Tuesday too,
He's
waiting
probably,
for that thing, be the first one.
I have to
Anyway,
laugh. That's too funny.
yeah.
All right. So, of course, we've got Oz, we've got Jack. Looks like we've got Mike Healy, we've got Ellen back. Julie Ann is here as always in the background to help us out and keep us on track.
Oh, Liberty's here too, but we'll talk about
Oh,
them in just a minute.
all right, all right. So we've got looks like Kurt, Jim. Ooh, let's see who else do we have here. Looks like there was a little chatter here early on, so I'm just kind of
Oh,
scrolling through
I love
some
it.
of these little
And
friends here.
we are always late to the party, apparently.
I know. I know. We always are. Hey, I see Dion's on here. We've got Eric.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby. I see. Oh gosh, let's see. We've got Chris, William. It looks like everybody's just super chatty tonight. We've got Rod.
Yeah.
I don't remember Rod. We've got Dennis. Hey, Gary Lynn. I see you're popped on here. We've got
Hey, Gary.
Ralph.
Yeah,
CC Wood and Craft. I think they were on here last week, I believe, if I'm not
I believe
mistaken.
so. I
Yeah,
believe so.
maybe a few weeks now.
Yeah,
I've
looking
kind of been out of
looking
the
back.
loop a little bit because, Julianne takes care of the questions for us, so I don't really have to scroll through like the live feed and keep up with that all the time anymore. So I don't really like get to keep up with who's new. So all right. Well, I will give our quick one to welcome to the Wednesday night CNC live hangout where you can get live CNC router help from myself, Kate Tucker from Women Who CNC, or you guys all know Garrett from IDC Woodcraft. But here tonight we have we have a couple of things we want to take care of just so everybody's kind of privy to the information. We try to take as absolutely many questions as we can and try to work through them very efficiently and very effectively. But we do have a cutoff point of 9 o'clock. So if you do have questions, please put questions in like some bold letters or some like question marks, just something to help Julianne grab those questions. And then she kind of stars them and puts them in, in a certain section for us so we can start working through those. So I know Garrett has lots of exciting stuff. So do you want to lead off with some of that?
Well, first of all, I just want to bring Julianne. I'm going to bring you out. You ready? So we have 2 IDC Woodcraft team members online here, and there's Julianne. She helps Kate and I manage things, and on the sidelines listening in is Liberty, the packing goddess of IDC Woodcraft, and these guys, I cannot live without them anymore. You start a little business on your own, but when you get to a point, and then there's a term in business: always bring in the people that are better than you at certain things, so you can focus on what you're good at. Right? Yes. When you can. And I am looking to hire someone else. By the way, I'm going to put this one out. I need a content writer, right, to start writing articles for the IDC Woodcraft website, right, CNC articles. So I need someone who has writing experience and also can write conversationally. Believe it or not, that is a challenging skill to find. And yes. And also they have to obviously have CNC experience. Anyway, Julianne, say hello to everybody before we park you in the back there.
Well, gee, thanks. Bring me out so they can see my face. Me say hi, and then you throw me out. I see how it is. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
All right. So she's keeping things straight in the background, so everybody knows IDC Woodcraft has a 0 tolerance policy. We don't tolerate BS, and Julianne knows when to cut you off, and she is quick and dirty about it. So as she should be, because we are respectful. We are a respectful, helpful bunch. Thank you, Julianne. And make sure everybody says hi to Liberty. All right, so let's knock out a couple questions, and I'm going to share with you something that you guys are going to be looking forward to. So let's hammer the first one there, Kate.
All right, let's do it. So up first we have Richard. He says, I want to pocket cut around a name. Which bit is best, hog or 3/16 compression, or maybe a nice surface, or a 1/4" tapered ball nose? So in my experience, if you're pocketing out around a name, I typically would just tend to stick with, a 1/4" end mill. I mean, that's kind of my go-to, especially when you're working around names. Now, if you're doing something like, oh gosh, I don't know, I'm trying to think. If you want to like offset the boundary a little bit, then you could hog out around it and then come back in on that really small offset line, and then come back and use your 1/4" end mill. That's always an option, to use the hog or the beast, depending on what type of material you're using. Those are kind of my go-tos. I really wouldn't use a tapered ball nose for pocketing. Those are more like your finished bits. So, I mean, if you're looking for a more tapered look, I would definitely clean out around that with one of those 2 bits. So.
Right. Yeah, if you want a tapered look, then you can use a V-bit. The tapered ball nose would actually work for those, but the thing is, you have to actually get cut down on your spoil board a little bit to pass the ball. All right. But Kate is absolutely right. Doing profiles like that, you would probably want to use the 3/16 compression bit to get it clean up, unless you want to work out really fast. If you're doing that, you're gonna be working that bit. This is the beast. You can't really tell, but it's pretty.
Put your hand behind it. Sometimes that helps.
It's a pretty gnarly bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's the beast is like the hog, except it's a little bit shorter. By the way, for those of you who are wondering the difference between the hog and the beast, because we get those questions all the time, I wrote a article on the IDC Woodcraft website to explain what hogging bits are and what, how to use them and what's the difference between the hog and the beast, and the upcoming badger that's going to be released on January 1st. It's finally coming. For those of you, who are interested in that, you need to get on the CNC Insiders email list if you want to get the new release discount.
Yes.
And I'll be sending an email out shortly. So it's coming up pretty quick. And I believe I'm going to be making a special announcement then as well on top of the badger.
Whoa. Well,
Whoa.
just hold on, buckle your britches there, fellas and ladies, because there sounds like there's going to be some big stuff coming.
Yeah, always working on the big stuff. All right, let's get to the next one.
All right. Let's see here. So we've got a great question here from Miss Carolyn. She says, Garrett, what is the font used in that Home Sweet Home sign?
Oh, that awesome Home Sweet Home sign. I am going to share this screen. This seems to be a popular design that I have come up with, that I created. Can you see it?
I can, yes.
Yes. So the font on this is called Vivaldi. Wait a minute. I'm going to go to the text, and it is Vivaldi. 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 Julianne, will you just type that into the comments, please? And that project, it's not sitting here right now. I'll show you what it looks like when you generate the previews. It's actually a pretty cool looking sign.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Although I don't like my color choice here, but I'm getting ready to do a video that's going to discuss the rounding bit, because I get a lot of questions about that as well, how to use that. And I'm going to show you something a little special about the rounding bit that most people don't realize they can do. So
love that bit.
I'll be doing it on this sign here. Maybe I should do. Should I do a video on this entire sign, this project? It's actually much easier than you think. So put in the comments if you want me to do it or not.
People are always looking for really incredible projects, even if it's a simple project. The thing I love being an educator and a teacher is I love working with people who are brand new all the way up to experience, because it keeps you very, very humble, because the people that are super advanced are fun to work with and they challenge you to grow. Like you always say, you want to be like the dumbest person in the room or the poorest person in the room when you're working in business. But I love doing that as a teacher, because it really does push you to grow and to, keep educating yourself. But then I also love working with the new beginners who don't know anything, because I remember being in their shoes and being so frustrated and spending countless hours on YouTube going, why can I not find an answer to this stinking question? So I love that you put out those videos for, the new folks in the room. It really does. Yeah. It helps propel you forward, if you will.
It sure does. Yeah. The other thing I like, Kate, when I create a video and I make an error in it, and other people who comment, and they'll either correct me or if I miss something, right? And I love that they do that, right? So it's just cool how engaged people are with all this stuff.
Well, I mean, Mark Lindsay will be the first one to tell you when he shoots a video, and it goes across the board for any type of content creator who is putting out, a vector training or something. Mark will straight up tell you he will shoot that video, or he will run through that entire video 3 or 4 times, because you'll catch yourself on something and you're like, okay, let me make a note of that. And then you'll start over and you'll keep going. And I will be very transparent. I have struggled with that. And I think that's why I haven't pushed out as much content as I have, because I get so nervous that people are going to be like, well, you're promoting yourself to be a vector trainer and you can't even get it right in your videos. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm still a human being. I'm still going to make errors. That is, those are the facts. And I don't know. I have such a gentle heart. Sometimes I get so worked up and so nervous. And I know you have been on me You have to just put the content out there and do it. And I am such a gentle soul. I have a really hard time with people, you know, like coming for me and being like, you did it wrong.
Right, right.
You know, I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to mislead you.
The best learning is doing. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, you should look at some of my old videos. I go back to them and I'm going, crap, that's the wrong way to do it. There's a much easier way.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know.
yeah. I just wanted to say that this sticker is now coming out from IDC Woodcraft as well. This is because I've seen too many creators chuck their bits up incorrectly, and so I created the rule of thirds table for you, so you know how to chuck up on your bits the right way, because you can break them, and you don't want to do that. No. I've had a lot of no. Okay. I want to cover one other thing. I've had a ton of questions about the muscle chuck. People are wondering when that's coming in. What the muscle chuck is, it's an adapter that screws right onto your router, and you take the nut and the collet off and you set it aside, and you put this guy on. It's got a nice little taper there. It goes into the Makita. And basically you just take your router bit, you'll slide it right up in there, and it's got a nice little set screw right there. Take the wrench, lock it down. No more three-handed trying to get your router bits changed over. If you want to see what it looks like, Julianne, put a link to that into the comments, please, so they can see what the muscle chuck is. It will be coming back in stock. The Makita one was a prototype, and so once we saw the demand, it's like, okay, Joe, you got to make a bunch more. So we are working on that right now. And we also released a high precision reducing collet as well. Reducing adapter. So that would work with this or any 1/4 inch, right? You put it in there, and that's a 1/8 reducer.
Nice. That fits just smooth. Uh-oh. I think he's there you are. You froze for a minute.
Yeah. Lost him for just a moment. Anyway, so Julianne will put links for that for you. Okay, let's get to some more questions. Just talking a lot.
All right. Let's do it. Let's see who we have here. Kurt says, I have the Beast and use it to hog out a lot of material quickly. I like it when doing flags. True, it's not a finish up bit. Yes, that is.
Oh, we're back. Yay.
So yes, the hog bit or the Beast bit does not have a pretty finish. Now, I will say this. I use the hog bit quite a bit, and I don't feel like it has a bad finish. Like a little bit of sanding, it's really not. I think it gives a pretty clean finish. So Julianne, can you still hear me okay? Because I feel like Garrett's frozen. I want to make sure I'm still good. Okay, so I'm still good. So yes, the Beast, I was actually talking with Garrett about this before we came on board, and he said, so very delicately, he said they both have different mothers, if you will. So they're both upcut bits. They're both roughing bits. The hog is longer. The Beast is a little bit shorter, but the Beast does have a rougher finish cut versus the hog. Like I said, I use the hog quite a bit in like many of my projects, and I actually just did a profile cut on a big sign that I did, and it turned out pretty good. I think I used maybe like some 120 to clean it up, and I had absolutely zero problems with that. So, all right, well, it looks like I have lost Garrett for a moment, but let's keep working through some of these questions here. All right. So Oz says the hog and beast are fun to watch rip out wood like crazy. Yes, absolutely, Oz. I will tell you, I have actually personally used the Makita router with the hog and the beast, and the Makita router is like 100% more than capable of keeping up with those two bits. I think I've cut through at the full depth on the hog bit at 3/4 of an inch in some walnut, which has been really great, like does not miss a beat. So don't be afraid to use those bits. I hear that so many times. People will buy the bits and then they're like scared to use it because they're afraid they're going to mess up something. And I want to tell you, you're not going to die. The bit is literally, you cannot break that bit. Those two bits are so stinking incredibly hard to destroy. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you would break your router before you would break one of those bits. So I actually have a video coming out about how to use that. I don't know what he's doing, but I have a video coming out about how to
I
use.
am trying to switch my direction of my camera.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm on the phone now.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and keep talking while I'm working on this.
You're all right. So about using the hog and the beast bit, because like I said earlier when Richard had asked the first question, is you can do a very small offset. I believe when I talked to Garrett about this before, the offset is like 0.0, like between 0.02 and 0.05 when you're using those bits. So you can set like a very minute offset. So run the profile of the beast or the hog bit, then use that offset line to come back in with your 1/4 inch end mill and just clean up. And then that way you're preserving your bits. You really are getting the best life out of everything. And you know, you're really reducing your runtime as well, which is so important in our, you know, in our world. Because when you're using a 1/4 inch end mill versus using this hog or the beast, I mean, you can increase your runtime by, you know, 30 or 40 minutes, because nobody in their right mind is going to take a 1/4 inch end mill 3/4 of an inch deep in one pass. There's no way. If you are, you're running, I don't know what you're running, but I think it'd be a little crazy in my mind, but that's just, you know, that's just me. So, all right, Garrett he's doing something here.
I'm resetting the router. It's
All right.
lost internet.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. While you're finishing up, let's take one more question. So we've got Richard here. He says, question for Kate, what epoxy brand do you use or recommend? So Richard, since you didn't specify whether you want a deep pour or a just like a tabletop epoxy, for my deep pours, I use oh gosh, I use Upstart Epoxy. That is my favorite brand to use. You can actually pour up to 4 inches with that brand, and it's a really incredible brand. There are a lot of things, variables that go in with that. So if you're curious about that, Garrett and I actually did a live, like, what was it, like 2.5 hours that we did when we poured your river table here in my shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. So tons and tons of information in there. So you can go check that out on my channel or Garrett's channel and watch that. It's under the live tab, but packed full of information about epoxy.
Oh, really? And I'm epoxy stupid, so I was asking Kate questions
Yeah.
from the perspective of like a CNC router beginner. So,
Yeah.
so that is a helpful video in that way.
Absolutely. As far as like a tabletop epoxy, I really like to work with super clear. The thing I like about it is I can actually order it from Amazon. I can order it from Lowe's, and it's a really great quality epoxy. Yes, there are tons of other ones out there. I'm actually looking to work with a couple different brands right now in that respect. So I will keep you guys in the loop on that. But that's kind of my go-to. I really feel like it's a really high quality epoxy. It's reasonably affordable for the amount of epoxy that you're getting. And I have used it on countless projects, and it's just been fantastic across the board. And the nice thing about it too is whenever I use it with my CNC, once it's fully cured, I've never had a problem with, you know, carving through it. So that's really good. All right, Garrett, are you still on board with
It
us?
looks like internet's back up. I'm switching back to my computer.
Okay.
So
All
keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure thing. All right. So there's a question for Garrett from Mike here, but we're going to skip over that. We'll jump right back in when he picks up. So this is from Ellen. This is what I'm getting for Christmas. A new spoil board. I can't resurface it anymore. Oh, Ellen. Oh, sister. We're right there with you. We are right there with you. I think all of us can go at some point, except for maybe Jen, which I love to death. She is hilarious about her spoil board, and I tease her relentlessly about it. So, uh, I have to give a really big shout out to Ellen. For those of you who don't know, she is someone that has really been a go-getter in the CNC space. She is a moderator in my women's group over on Facebook. She's fantastic. Let me tell you a quick and dirty little story about, not really dirty, but let me tell you a little story about Ellen, because I feel like it's very inspirational. She is so passionate about her business, okay? She was at a funeral. She was standing in line, like so many of us do when we're going to pay our respects to someone, and we just start chatting it up. What do you do? What do you do? You know, blah, 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 you're shooting the bull. She starts talking about her CNC business. Well, this individual that she was talking to knew a somebody that knew a somebody that needed parts manufactured for jukeboxes. Ellen is now making parts for these jukeboxes for this guy that owns like the biggest jukebox, like let's just say there's like 7 companies, like the top 4 companies in the world that need jukebox parts made. He sends those parts to her that need remade. She does all the calculations and cuts out all these parts. This woman is killing it just because she was passionate about her business and she was talking about it. Now she has this amazing gig where she's working for this guy, creating all of these really cool jukebox parts. I mean, what a deal. Like, be passionate about your business. Talk about your business.
Mm-hmm. That is the number one rule of business. To start a CNC business, you've got to be noticed, you got to be seen, and you never know where the opportunity is going to come from.
Nope.
That's why I say to people who tell me, "Oh, I don't like Facebook." I don't care. All your customers like Facebook. Get on it. Right? It's not a personal thing. It's a business tool, and that's the way you need to look at it. And we often have to look at our own biases and say, it's like people out there I don't like that are very, very wealthy, that may not have great attitudes. I don't care. I don't care about their attitude. I want to know what got them there, and I'll pick and choose what I like. Right? But yeah, you got to get out there, and you've got to be seen. You've got to have eyes on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Ellen is a prime example of that. So creators starting a business, and also I put out a survey yesterday to CNC insiders, and that survey was, do you want me to put together a course to teach you how to start a business? All right. I do owe some people an apology because I had a setting wrong on that. And so when they finished the survey, there was a little button where they could actually look at everybody's answers. So I got that corrected, but I felt really bad. I couldn't sleep much last night from that one.
Oh.
But I fixed it. I stopped.
Well,
all right.
Like I said in the beginning, we are all human. We all make mistakes. So
yeah.
All we can do is learn from them and move forward. All right. So Mr. Mike here, he has a great question. He says, "Hi, Garrett. I have most of your bits. On your 1/4" downcut bit, do you suggest 60 to 70 inches a minute depending on material? Do you still run it that slow on your Phantom, or the speed dependent on how powerful the machine?"
So it's first of all, the speed and feeds, particularly the feed, is dependent on the rigidity of the machine. So with the long mill, I can get it up to 100 inches per minute at a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 inch depth of cut. Because just like any other benchtop machine, it only has so much rigidity and the power of the spindle itself. With the Phantom, I can run the same bit at 300 inches per minute.
It's pretty. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, for reference, right? The Beast router bit, when I was testing it, I was going through maple at the full 1 inch depth of cut. 80% step over at 1,000 inches per minute, and the bit didn't even know it was there. I mean, it was like, holy shit, this thing's like throwing sawdust like a chainsaw does.
I
Right?
know. That's what I was
So-
telling him earlier. I said, you will not break those bits. You will burn up your router before you will break that bit.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the rigidity of the machine and the strength of the bit, right? And what
Yep.
and when you're starting to get into higher speeds, that's when you've heard chip load, right? That's when that starts to become something you want to start taking into consideration. For benchtop machines, don't worry about chip loads.
Nope. All right. Let's see. We've got Dion up next. Can you talk about CNC spindle ball bearing, collet nut versus the traditional? I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, I guess that's me. I'm hold on, I'm gonna get a traditional collet so we all know what we're talking about. I got it over
Let
here
him
by
grab
the
his
phone.
grab his goodies.
Very beneath my pile. Okay. So this is your traditional collet right here, where you have this is an ER style collet that you'll find on the spindles. All right. And these are standard. IDC Woodcraft will be stocking these soon. Getting into collets now. And this takes the wrench. Yeah, it takes a wrench. The ball bearings ones are I've worked with them a long time ago. All right, and so I don't remember a whole lot about them other than we're working with ball bearing locks, right? So you'll push it in, it'll like cam lock in place. And that ball bearing, there's several different methods, and it'll just ride up a ball bearing, and you just enough to put pressure on that ball bearing, and it locks in. And they're actually they're designed more for quick changing rather than this style here. They're still good, but I can't talk a whole lot beyond that because it's been a long time. That was my metal machining like 30 years ago.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Kind of neat. It's always interesting to learn about different things because you see some of the stuff and it makes you go, I don't even know like what he's referencing. For instance, like you were talking about, it's been.
You know the pneumatic adapters for your blowgun, right? You click it in and you pull it back to release it. That's a ball bearing lock.
Okay.
So in a way, there are those as well out there in collet land, but you're also getting into some pricey stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's you're getting industrial equipment and industrial prices, by the way.
Well, I think I'm going to stay over here in my hobby land for now. That's a really good question, Dion. All right, let's see. We've got a good question here from Mr. Gary Lynn. Hello, all from Waterford, Michigan. Have a great show. Thank you. Anyone know of someone in Waterford that is using Vectric VCARVE Pro that I can pick his brain?
Tell them about what you're building on your website, Kate.
So over on my website, Gary, I'm not sure if you're familiar. I do what do you want to say? I'm trying to think of, I think it's called the Women Who CNC Network over on womenwhocnc.com. It's actually for any maker. I'm kind of inviting everyone to come over. There's a map that you can create an account, go in, enter in all your information, and then put yourself up on the CNC map. It's a really great resource. It's brand new. I just kind of started talking about it last week, but it's not just for Women Who CNC. Yes, it's on my Women Who CNC website, but it is a map for all creators to be able to go. It's like some free advertisement for your business, other people to connect and start finding one another. And I would love for you guys to start doing that. It's just a really cool thing. And the reason that you have to create an account, just as a side note, is when you put all of your information in there, if something changes, I want you to be able to log back into your account and change that and update maybe as your business grows or you move to a new location or something like that. So that's the reason for creating the account. But go check it out. because I think you guys
Yeah.
will be really pleasantly surprised. The more we can get more people on it, you'll be able to find some contacts.
Yeah. Julianne, please be sure that I get on that list too, please.
There you go. All right. Ah, I love.
Oh, you know what? You know what those guys did to me today?
I saw.
You
They
saw.
ambushed
Okay.
you. They
Yeah,
ambushed you.
brothers and sisters. I was out here just making something for my family, getting ready to put some aura mask on, and here comes the entire crew, cameras and microphones and stuff. Is it Garrett? Here's your microphone. Well, what? What are you talking about? Oh, you're live on YouTube. What?
Yeah, you were like, wait, what? What am I
Yeah,
supposed to do?
yeah. I love it. I love it though. But it was actually turned out to be a good video because I got to teach about how to work, apply the aura mask, the masking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge deal. Everybody is asking, what's that? I see it probably at least once a day. What is that blue film? What is that blue film?
Uh-huh.
I feel like
Yeah.
I should just make a video. Like that should be like the thumbnail. What is this blue film? Like that's what we should just call it.
You know what?
Because
That's the CNC routers. What's that blue film? That's the perfect thumbnail title.
there it is. You heard it
Yep.
here first. All right, let's talk to my sister Jen here. This is the one I was harassing earlier about her spoil board. She loves to keep her spoil board pretty, and I can't say I blame a sister. All right, let's see what she's got. Any tips on how to get your name out there with local businesses, restaurants, golf courses, realtors, other things that I haven't thought of? I do well online, but want to branch out. Well, congratulations on doing well. That's huge. Doing well online is a significant milestone because so many people even struggle with that. So, yes. All right, let's see what you got, Garrett. What do you got to say about this?
So what I would say is add value first. So find these local businesses, look at them, go in and just find the decision makers and just start chewing the fat with them if you can. Right? You don't need to really tell them what you do unless they got a couple things out there, but you chew the fat with them just so that they know your face, and then go away and listen as you're discussing with them before you go away, and then go and make something simple, right? So make one of these things for them. I'm going to tell you something. People love their names. It's the number one word that you can make and sell, right? And it's music to people's ears. And here's what I mean. If you look at yourself and you're just standing in a room and you hear something that sounds like the word Jen, you're, what? Did I hear Jen? Right? Well, every time I hear the word guarantee, I think someone's saying Garrett. But we recognize our names. So if you can make something simple like that with their name or something that's personal to them, just say, you said this and I thought it'd be cool. I just made this on my machine. That's going to engage them, right? So build the relationship, give some value first. It won't always pay off, but a lot of times it does. It does one other thing, Jen, and every other CNC sister and brother here. It builds something called reciprocity. How does IDC Woodcraft, how is in 3 years it's become what it's become? It's because, number one, I focused on what you want, and I created the content to try to help you out as best I can to help you understand it. Number two, we never forget that there is a person on the other side of the screen or on the other side of the package. That's why Liberty is always writing those awesome notes to you. It's like, because we know you're there. I don't ever want to be that corporate structure, ever, right? This is creator to creator, right? So I add value all the time. And if you notice, on every package, your name is on that package. Names are important.
Yep.
And by the way,
you can
Julianne,
make like some small tokens of things. I know, like, it's been really huge where when a realtor shows a house, and I can say this because I've moved a lot for my husband's job, but realtors love those little things that they can give to their clients, or just make like like a medium size like house key, and it has all of their information and name. And then when they sell their house, like their clients take this thing and then they like take a picture and then they post it on social media. You know, hey, look at me with my cute little thing, and my new people that just bought a house. Like they love stuff like that. You know, do some samples. Um, you know, to say, hey, I'm just putting my name out there. You know, these are some things that I do. People like to touch and feel things versus just a picture. When I was doing my paint party business and I would go into like the libraries and I would want to do, you know, certain events and things like that. I had a big binder and a big book in my like bag of stuff for people to look through, but people love to put their hands on different projects. So I just made small, like little small examples. I didn't frame them up and make them big and fancy, but you know, I did like 1/4 inch and I would take like 5 or 6 of different examples and I would say, this is kind of like what it would look like. You know, it'll be a nicer wood, it'll have a frame, but this is kind of the general idea. And then they can start to really visually connect with you, because when they put it in their hands and they feel it, they tend to remember you more than just like you handing them a business card. I know it's going to sound goofy, but like the one thing people will always reach out to me and they say, this is the first thing they say when they see my business card. Ooh, I like this. It has texture to it. It's square. It's double-sided. And on the front side of it, it's black and it has like a gold foil. So it's like very eye-catchy. And they're like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I really like this. But it's something about that texture and that feel that, like, I don't know why, but every time I hand a business card out to someone, I usually always get a call. Like there maybe been a handful of times, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that, but
Right.
it's
So
something.
just based on what you just said, Kate, Jen, if you want to, Mark said he knows for a fact that realtors love things with their names on it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. But so here's the approach: you meet them, right? Just talk to them, and you know you can, however you create some kind of little relationship, and then you bring a project back to them that you made with their name on it, and they're going to wonder all about how you did that. Oh, I do this stuff on my machine, and I also make things that are realtor oriented or things that are store oriented, right? I mean, you gear that conversation to the thing, and I do this with this, and yeah, here's a couple pictures of what I do. You know, that's when their ideas get clicking.
Yeah, because then they start looking for stuff, or they've been looking. Realtors especially, or small businesses, or not necessarily small, well, yeah, like some boutiques and stuff like that. I mean, think about a boutique's like perspective. They are always trying to stand out in some way. They're trying to separate themselves from other boutiques. So how can you help them pop and stand out more from like a Maurice's or Target or something? How can you make them a little more eye-catchy? And sometimes as artists and as creators, that's what we love to do. And so I'll give you the prime example. Downtown Greenfield, it's very eclectic. There's a lot of really cool, unique places. And this guy came to me and he said, hey, I want to make a big outdoor sign. Like, how can I really make this pop? And I'm sitting there like, I'm looking around the shop and I'm kind of going, okay, he's got like a rustic, like metal piping, dark woods. He's also got like some oranges and things like that, you know, colors. And so I'm like, what if I did like almost like a shiplap type sign, but we did it round, and we did metal banding around the edges with like some um, kind of like where it looks like it has like the bolts like all the way around the edging, and then we carved it in maybe like some cedar, and then we did pops of orange and things like that and white that were going to really look different and stand out from the rest of what was already out there. So sometimes putting those ideas out there already sets you apart as a business owner when you're just having those conversations. So
Mhm.
If you do want to approach somebody, do your research. Figure out what they're about. Don't expect them to come to you and tell you everything. If I wanted to approach Garrett about his business and building a relationship with him, I'm going to look up Garrett. I'm going to watch his videos. I'm going to study and invest in so I can bring that knowledge to him and to the table. I'm adding value to him. I'm talking about him. Yes, I love what you do. I love all of your things. Those are the things people want to hear when you want to talk business and when you're approaching people.
Mhm.
They love to
When,
hear all about
yeah,
them.
when companies approach me and they ask me, hey, can you market my stuff? If they have not, 99% of them, when they approach me, they're sending me emails. 99% of them have not even looked at any video. And I can always tell by just reading the first couple lines in their emails, right? And if you're not investing your time in me, why am I going to invest time in you? Right. So that you always want to think of it from that perspective as well. Right. We want to
Yeah.
invest time in the other people, get them talking to us. People love to talk about themselves. There's so much business psychology, right? It's this is why I was thinking maybe I'll start a course on how to do a course on how to start a CNC business. If you are interested, put some yeses in the comments. I'll put a course together. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, business is not, as Kate has learned, it's not what you think it is.
No. Go back and watch the 9 mentoring sessions and you watch a little lost lamb like finally start to flourish and, you know, grow. I feel like I'm a completely different person. Even my husband said we were reflecting on this year and he said, I feel like you're just like you've grown so much this year. I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
By the way, on a side note, for all of our regulars, if you see some like weirdo in the comments that says, "Hey, beautiful," or something like that, it's not some weirdo, it's my husband. He just doesn't like get on YouTube a lot, so he doesn't really like comment on lives. I'm like, you probably need to say like, "Hey, honey, it's your husband that like wants to say I love you or you're beautiful or something like that." I'm like, all my regulars are probably like, "Who is this creeper like hitting on Kate?" So if you guys see that in the comments, just like,
Yeah.
just ignore him.
I'm getting a lot of yeses. All right.
Good.
Well, looks like game on. What I'll do is I will put together a separate email list, and I
All
will
right.
send to the CNC insiders to sign up for that new list, so I can start letting you know what's going on with that. We have a
All right.
contribution, Kate.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Jerry Carp. Yep, Jerry
Yep.
Carp. Well, thank you, Jerry. That is very, very generous. Wow. Thank you,
Ooh,
Eric. Thank
Canadian
you.
as well. Got them
Yeah,
from around the
very
world.
generous.
I love that coming from around the world. Thank you
I
for donating, contributing to what we do. It
yes.
always helps us, and it's just another one of those reinforcements that you're doing the right thing. The way they just did that was on the IDC Woodcraft channel. Just below it, there's a little money symbol. You click that and you contribute. Mark Lindsay has the same thing. So if you ever watch any of his videos, donate to him. On Women Who CNC, Kate is not quite there yet. She needs a few more view hours, right?
Yeah.
She's got the subscribers, but she needs a few more view hours so she can monetize the channel. That'll help her out as well.
Well, it's actually I haven't converted my channel from it's actually Rise and Shine Wood Signs is my YouTube channel. That's where I started out. That's my business. Um, that's going to be one of my new things. My new year business resolution goal is I will be probably letting go of Rise and Shine Wood Signs and I will be primarily focusing on Women Who CNC. It's really been a huge blessing for all of the women that have kind of come into this space and they have said thank you so generously to me. So I feel like I want to expand on that and I really want to focus on the Women Who see CNC coming into the new year. So there'll be a lot of changes, but a lot of growth as well. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to get back to some questions? Yes, Bueller.
Yeah, go for it. I was just reading what Julianne wrote in the background there.
Okay. All right, let's see. CC Wood and Craft. I have the trial version of VCARVE Pro. I imported an STL. How do I generate toolpaths from the model? I keep getting asked to select a vector. Okay. Okay, so you're in the trial version, imported an STL. So I'm assuming that you have the STL. It's like you've gone through the steps of importing it, and it's now like in your, you can see it in a 2D and a 3D view. So once you generate a toolpath, you need to actually use the 3D roughing and the 3D finishing toolpaths, because it is a 3D object. So, and you know, maybe somebody can help me out here in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure in the trial version. I think you can run the toolpaths to see it. I just don't believe you can like save the, I know you can't save the G code for it.
Let's do this. I think Mark shared something about this a couple weeks ago when he was covering for you. Mark,
Okay.
will you just, Mark Lindsay, will you write in the comments? Because I'm not sure we can even import 3D models into the trial version or not. So, Mark, can you clear up this answer? I think I get what they're saying, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, it says he imported it, or she imported
Yeah.
the STL. They're just trying to figure out how to generate the toolpaths. So
Okay.
the reason you probably can't select a vector is because it's an STL. It's not a vector. So unless you put a boundary around that, the actual model, you can't really select that. You can't do like a profile or a pocket or something like that unless you have that boundary box around the actual model. But you need to use the toolpaths, the 3D roughing and the 3D finishing are the two toolpaths that you want to look for.
I think I understand what's going on here. So they're trying what you're using a profile toolpath, and you're trying to use you're using a profile toolpath on a 3D model. It doesn't have a vector boundary.
No.
So I think that's what the problem is. So
Yeah.
you have to create a boundary around it, but you need to use the 3D toolpaths. Mark Lindsay's got videos on that. I've got videos on it. Kate, I don't know if you got videos on the 3D toolpath. I got a really long video that how to work with multiple models.
Yes, I've seen that. It's very cool. It's very good too. Very in depth.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
All right. Let's see here. We've got Johnny King, newish to this. Is there a way I can get my name out there?
That's the first one. I hear newbies, but I never hear newish.
Newish. Is there a way I can get my name out there? I am disabled, missing a leg. Makes it hard to go out and sell, but I do try. Well,
brother,
again,
we've got a beautiful world called the internet and Facebook.
Yes, you got it. Kudos on giving your best effort and trying.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, amen.
Garrett and I are always preaching, grow knowledge. There is about anything and everything you want to learn. If you need to learn how to use Facebook or need to learn how to market on Facebook or use Marketplace, YouTube, brother, look it up. There is a tutorial for about every stinking thing on YouTube anymore. I mean, you could probably look up how to peel a banana and there'd probably be a video to do it. So
Facebook Marketplace. The other thing is go find groups on Facebook.
Yes.
Right. So like you have CNC groups. Think of what you want to make. Go find the group in Facebook. If it's like, just say military, some military group. Mm-hmm. Just get a little involved. Take some time and read the group, understand what you're looking for, and once in a while post a picture of a project. Look what I made for myself.
Yep.
Oh.
Or we've talked about it a lot. Find a niche. I made those crazy looking fire dancers for Dave Matthews fans, and boy, those things were just like, whew. I mean, they just took off like wildfire. I hated making them. They were a colossal pain in my butt. But I love the people that I got to meet and work with. I'm not personally a huge Dave Matthews fan, so it didn't really resonate with me. But You know, that's just like one example, like Garrett said, military, teachers, nurses. Find a niche, start working with that, and
Yeah.
give it everything you got.
Use these resources you have. Facebook is free, 100% free. Facebook Marketplace, find the groups, but just don't be salesy. This goes back to Jen's comment about getting in front of people. How do you get noticed?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to buy, right? Get this note. Everyone wants to buy, but nobody wants to be sold. And that's why we hate car dealers, right? Because they're immediately, I want to sell something to you, right?
Vultures.
Build the relationships. Build the relationships. I gotta bring this comment out from Dion. His wife keeps accusing him of having an affair with the past lady because of Liberty's awesome notes on the IDC Woodcraft packages. Thank you, Liberty.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
That is.
Oh my gosh, Dion, that's hysterical. Thank you for sharing that. All right.
Oh, you know, everybody's been waiting for me to install this darn thing.
Oh yeah, your PWN
I'm
spindle.
I am whipping through videos to get them taken care of before I change this. So this is going to start either Friday or Monday. Monday's Christmas, isn't it? Whatever, right after Christmas. So putting a spindle on your CNC router, your benchtop. If anyone has not done that, I've done a write-up on the IDC Woodcraft website. There's a company out there called PWN CNC, and they have come up with a plug-and-play spindle for many of the different brands of benchtop CNC routers. And spindles are much better, as Mark has said multiple times. Mark Lindsay, once you go spindle, you never go back. But I'll put a link down in the description, or Julianne will put a link in the comments, and we'll also throw it in the description of this video. But watch the comments and go check out their website. Right,
it's a very cool product. It's they have lots of variations too. They have water cooled, air cooled. They believe they have 65 millimeter, 80 millimeter.
Yeah, some people want that 80 millimeter on their bench tops. You're pushing it, brother. Pushing it.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
A lot of weight.
Yeah, I actually was in like a networking group, and Stone from Onefinity was in that group, and he said, because I asked him very specifically about the 80 millimeter spindle, and he said if you want that on your Onefinity, it's okay to do, but he highly recommends having it's actually called the Stiffy rail. It's a third rail that you need to add on, and then you can have that, but you also have to buy, I believe, the bigger bracket. I don't know if you have to have, I think on the Journeyman X50, like the model that I have, I believe you already have the heavy duty Z slider. You just have to buy that 80 millimeter bracket to put onto it. So just do your research, be cautious of what you're putting on, because the last thing you want to do is, spend a ton of money on an 80 millimeter thing and then wreck your machine because it's too much weight. So,
yeah, remember, too much weight is going to cause wear and tear, and it's also going to benchtop machines only have so much ability to hold stuff, right? You got a 20-pound spindle hanging out there. It's going to torque your machine, your gantry.
Yep, you got to be very careful.
Yep, and while you're at it, if you're liking this live, give us a thumbs up, and let's get to the next question.
All right, let's do it. We have Mr. Mike here. He says, "How can I upgrade for the VCARVE Desktop 2 Pro?" So, Mike, you will actually need to do that within Vectric. You will need to go to their website, log into your V&Co account, and you can upgrade from there. And I do believe, Garrett, correct me if I'm wrong, but you just pay the difference
if you are in the same version. So, yeah, like I have a version 11.5. I bought a version 11, so we got an automatic upgrade to version 11.5. But when 12 comes out, I'm going to have to pay for it again. Right. But if you've bought, I think, like 11.5 within 3 months of the release of version 12, you get the the upgrade to 12 for free.
For just desktop, or
It's for upgrading from desktop to pro, or from pro to whatever.
Aspire?
Right. So
Okay.
so you will have to pay the difference. Just like Kate said, you got to log in, go to your Vectric website, log in. It'll get your license number, and then you can upgrade. You're only paying the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good, Mike. I hope that helps you out.
Yep. I wanted to bring. Okay, I'll bring.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just going to bring Liberty out for a minute. Liberty is the girl who's shipping your packages out, and she says she loves seeing so many names she knows. Right? She is looking at every single name on these packages because she's writing notes to everyone. And she says, I miss saying something to a few of you, but just know I see you. Oh, what a great thing.
Aww.
So maybe she missed a package, because once in a while we'll get a message. I didn't get my message from Liberty this time.
God love them. Sister, you are making such an impact.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she's an awesome woman, but here, listen, she is also a mom. So if y'all don't get your names on your packages, know that she is with you in spirit, because she has a little one. So sometimes those babies get sick, and we're coming up in that time of the year. So, you know, just know she's always with you in spirit. She's always there for you.
Right.
All right, y'all.
We're at the 9 o'clock mark, so we're not going to star any more questions. We've got 12 questions. So if we can handle more, we'll take them. I mean, you can drop them in there, but if we can get to them, we'll get to them.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Mr. Jerry says, at first, I did not think much of using a checklist until today. I started a new project and walked away for a few minutes. When I came back, I noticed I forgot to turn on the dust collector. Oh my gosh, what a mess. I think
What is he talking about? What's he talking about? Hey, there we go, right there. The checklist. I'm going to pop me out. Yeah. Point to that.
You're on the wrong side.
I know. I think it was Dion. I think they read it. They said, I just didn't look right being on this side of the screen.
It's a little strange.
Yeah. So let's see if I can bring this up. Okay. Well, there we go. Oh, well, that's Kate. Sorry, Kate.
That's just me. Hi.
Okay. So what he's talking about is when we are setting up our projects on our machine, we have lots of steps that we need to do that, right? And there's that's how many steps we need to follow when we're doing our machines. And I just thought of another one today. It's like, crap, I got to update this thing again. But when you're setting up your project, if we all have forgotten something at one time or another, and we broke a bit because we forgot to turn it on, we had a pile of dust that can't get out of the dust shoe, and now you got a fire starter going on, or the project wasn't clamped down. That's why I saw too many people breaking router bits. I got to come up with a checklist, and that's why I came up with this too, this table. So it tells you how to chuck your router bits up. But this checklist, and I even sent it to Mark Lindsay a couple of times. I said, Mark, check this. Garrett, you forgot this. You forgot that. Like, oh, God dang it. I got to go back to my designer and update it. But anyway, if you don't have it on the IDC Woodcraft website, when you go to it, there will be a pop-up, and it says, get your checklist. Okay. And you get it from there, from the pop-up. If it doesn't show up on your cell phone, go to your computer and do it. It'll pop up. Get the checklist, set your projects up based on the checklist.
Yes.
I'll do a video on that.
Yeah. And I just want to say, I want to put this out there because I feel like it's an underused resource for so many new beginners. So if you are new to the room, put your ear to the, listen with your bat ears, turn them on here, friends. I know, right? Like cue them in. Y'all need to go over to the IDC Woodcraft website. You need to download the database. There are you've got CarveCo, you've got Vectric, Fusion 360. Is that it?
Yep, and Carbide Create.
Carbide Create. That's what was the other one. When I teach my one-on-ones, I literally will send out. I'm actually making a few tweaks to that. When I do my one-on-one instruction lessons, that is one of the things I send my students in a Word document. Please, please, if you are new, make sure you have some type of tool database that you are working with. Whether it's, whatever, if you're using a Monobits, if you're using the IDC Woodbits, download a tool database. That is the number one underused resource, because people are struggling, new beginners are struggling so hard on trying to determine a feed, a speed. They're trying to understand chip load. I mean, I personally remember riding that struggle bus. I understood the software, I could understand the toolpaths, but trying to manage all of that was the number one thing that really just like made me mental. So do yourself a favor. Go download that tool database. Garrett even has a video on how to download it, how to, and upload it into Vectric, into the tool database so it's accessible. It literally has every single bit that he has. And there is a recommended speed and feed. Everything is preset and pre-done for you. Now, keep in mind, they are very conservative. So as you grow, and you mature and you learn your machines and you learn the types of woods that you're working with, you can adjust those. But if you're brand new, just please turn your bat ears on, go download that darn thing, save yourself, just save yourself, okay? Just go
It's
do
yours,
it.
free.
Free.
Yeah.
It's like you
And
can't.
it'll populate your entire database,
Oh my
because
gosh.
every number you enter, you can have an error. And if you don't know what you're entering in each field, right, what that means, then there's even more room for error. Also, the app, right?
Yes.
The IDC Woodcraft phone app. It's got all the same
Yes.
stuff in that. It's right there for you. So for Apple or Android, go to your IDC. Julianne, will you put the Apple and the Android links in the comments? And we'll put those in the description later. It's free. It's an app right on your phone.
I mean,
And if you
I
break,
can't tell you how many dang times I use it. Sometimes I need to check something, or I need to double check myself, or I've run the program, and I know a lot of people, like, they don't have, like, their desktop is at home with their Vectric software, and they just have their G code, and like they go to their shop and they can't remember what speed they need to set the router or the spindle at. Use your app. Utilize those feeds. They are free stinking resources. You are
it is
just
so convenient. It's so convenient. Have you ever searched a router bit online? You're like, what do I buy? What and they all come up. So all that's
yeah.
right here. All right. You can get, if you break a router bit, you can replace it right here. By the way, about 2 months ago, we instituted IDC Woodcraft a 90-day guarantee. If you break your router bit, we'll replace it.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, you know any company, router bit company, that even dares touch that? So if
Now
you
with
break
the
it, we'll replace it. And it's like, I don't care if you broke it and it's your fault. It's the cost of doing business to make sure you are in the shop making your stuff. There are some conditions which we need to have the router bit back, right? And but you can go to the IDC Woodcraft website. It's right there on the front page. It says, how does this work? And it'll tell you how it works. There's a little form you need to fill out, and you just send it back. We'll send you another one.
There you go.
98. No questions asked.
I don't know how that gets any better of a deal. I'm just telling you right now. That's a hell of a deal. And my father-in-law says that about a lot of things, but I don't use that term very loosely. That's a hell of a deal. But use your feeds and speeds correctly, people.
Yeah.
Download the database and take your time to learn. Okay.
Yep.
Be conservative when you're starting. Don't go at 300 inches a minute and hard maple at 3/4 of an inch with your 1/4 inch end mill and go, well, I don't know what happened. Well, look at the speeds and feeds, look at the density of the wood, and put 2 and 2 together. I mean, you've got to be smart. Okay. That's the main thing with CNC. You need to learn to walk before you can run. And you have to learn to run before you can be an Olympic triathlon athlete. Okay.
You know where that comes
I-
from? That comes from many of us, the creators, when they first get into this and they want to start making these amazing 3D projects, and that's just too far ahead, right? There's a lot of basics to get to know. Let's hit another. Julianne has put the links for the app in the comments, so just scroll up on the comments, you'll see them. Thank you, Julianne.
All right.
Let's get another question.
All right, let's do it. We've got one from Jerry here. Oh, nope, we already answered that one. My apologies. All right. Pickle Pants. Can I get an answer to why we use a VCARVE path versus a pocket tool path for inlay? Recently did an inlay using a 15-degree V-bit, used pocket, and came out well.
Came out well. Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you tackle this one. You're pretty good inlay man. Inlays are not my specialty.
Yeah. Well, I'm not great with inlays, but I've made a pretty awesome one. So my answer to this is pocket cuts. They have straight sidewalls, and you want to get exact. If you're not exact, you're going to have gaps in your inlay. All right, and or if you're trying to press it in and it's oversized, you can crack the inlay. The thing of the V carving, it creates a seat for that inlay, and it just drops down in. It locks right in place, and it can't move. And you press them together, and it just goes together so nicely. So that's my answer.
All right.
And you can do it. You can do it. I've never done it, and I never will, because the V carving inlays work so easy.
Yes. Yes. I will tell you, Two Moose Designs, they're on YouTube, they're on Etsy, they're kind of everywhere. They're big Onefinity owners. Jeff and Jess are their names, but it's Two Moose Designs is the name of their business. And Jeff is an incredible artist when it comes to doing inlays, especially in cutting boards and things like that. Go check him out. He does have a YouTube channel where he works through a lot of those types of things. So go check him out. Very, very cool. All right. So we have a question from a Facebook user. It says, Garrett, the video you did earlier this week making a sign with circles, can you explain what toolpath did you use to finish the outside perimeter? The
sign with circles. What toolpath did I use to finish the outside perimeter? I got to go get the sign so I can talk about it. We're talking about the Home Sweet Home sign.
I'm going to guess maybe just a profile?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a profile toolpath, yes. What
Okay.
toolpath? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. It is a profile toolpath.
That's all right.
Profile toolpath it's the first toolpath in the Vectrix software, right? And a profile toolpath is literally going to follow around a profile. Now, if you're cutting a project out, make sure you set that profile to the outside of the line.
Okay. All righty. Let me see here. Oh, I am click happy tonight. I don't know what to tell y'all. All right, so this is from Keith. This is a very nice sentiment. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for taking the time of your week to share your wisdom with us. That's very nice, Keith. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Keith.
All right. So we have up next is Joel. Hello, Garrett. Just received my replacement diamond drag bits today. Thanks, Liberty. Any idea on keeping these bits working longer? My first 90 and 120 no longer scratch the glass very well. Used at 0.1 depth at 30 IPM. Only done 3 projects so far on the initial bits.
Okay. So the one thing with those diamond drag bits, the most abusive material to those is glass. If you're engraving steel or aluminum or granite, as long as it's flat, polished, no pockets, divots in it, or just acrylic, it's good with it. But for some reason, glass is very abusive, and I think the reason is there's a lot more back pressure that it's doing. If you listen to it going across glass, it's constantly going that kind of thing, and so If you're doing glass, I would back off on your depth of cut, or in other words, back off the pressure, which would be, instead of going to 0.1, bring it to 0.05.
There you go. All right. So Chris has an excellent question. When can we place a pre-order for the Badger?
Oh, yeah, no pre-orders going on here. We are labeling those up now. We are still not ready to ship them. So just gotta wait. Just gotta wait.
Sorry, Chris.
Let me show you something. I'm gonna share my screen. Let's get into here. So what is the Badger?
Are you trying to show one?
Yeah, I'm going to in just a second. Yeah,
okay.
Badger is like a mini hog or beast on IDC Woodcraft, and we're just coming out with that now. And let's see. So are you on the screen, on your screen, Kate?
I can see it. Yes.
Okay. All right. And so this is what it does. It's a 1/4 inch depth of cut it's an 1/8 inch diameter bit. It's 1/4 inch depth of cut right there. And it's a 70% step over, and I'm going at 130 inches per minute. I mean, it's like racing around a racetrack right there. So really the Badger is a roughing bit. It's like the hog or the beast. It's designed to remove that material, and it's not going to leave a pretty cut. So that is a new bit design from IDC Woodcraft, and a lot of people, after I released the beast, right? The hog is the most popular. The beast is the stronger bit.
Yeah.
And the Badger is like, well, Adam, our photographer guy, right? He said it's that little bit that has a big bite. So that's its slogan now. And we even got that on the sticker right there. There's this. All the team, the whole team had say so on how this got designed.
I love this.
I love that everybody's involved in it.
Yes.
We got a.
Can I show it to him?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So let's just look at it really quickly. Can y'all see that pretty well? Maybe
a little fuzzy.
Little fuzzy.
It's got some gnarly teeth on there.
It really does. I will tell you, I actually did a tree of life carving with this bit because, a tree of life, it was on like a, I don't know, 30-inch round. And then
it was a beautiful project. That was a beautiful project.
I backfilled it with epoxy. It turned out beautifully, but I used this guy. I was so excited because, as many of you know, the tree of life has like, a big, it's a big tree, but it has tons of like little vines and little alcoves and this and that. And I actually did this bit, and I added an allowance offset in the pocketing toolpath to make it just a little bit bigger. So then that way I could use the offset and go back in with my 1/8 inch, just down cut and clean everything up. 30 minutes. When I used my regular 1/8 inch end mill for that project, I think I was sitting at almost 2 hours to do just a regular 1/8 inch end mill, because I would have had to do 2 passes. And with this, I just did the 1 pass at a full, I think I did a 0.25 depth of cut. It was in, I think it was in birch is what that was in. So I did it the full depth of cut at the 0.25 in 30 minutes from a 2 hours down to from standard 1/8 inch end mill to the 1/8 inch Badger. And then I think it took me about 20 minutes to just do like a cleanup pass from, to clean up the edges and make sure everything looked really nice. But I was impressed. I would say it's a beast, but it's a Badger.
It's a Badger.
It's not a beast. It's a Badger.
All right.
Dion, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 10-month CNC journey, Garrett and Kate.
Isn't that wild? 10 months we've been doing this. It all started off with Kate.
Can y'all believe
she did the smart thing. She built a relationship with me, and then, asked for some guidance. And so I said, well, I'll do it, because normally I charge to mentor. I said, I'll do it if we can do this live. And she said, okay, because I know that will help a lot of other people. And it all started from that.
Yeah.
So, Dion, thank you so much. And I hope that this journey that we've been on, and you have been a part of all along, that you have gained something from it. I know you've gotten a couple friends out of it, that's for sure. And a lot more from it.
And I will tell you about adding value to someone before you come to them for help. I did not know that until I worked with Garrett. That is like experience and knowledge that I gained from my mentor. That I came basically like through some one-on-ones at the mercy of, please help me. I'm struggling and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Through the one-on-ones, and that's how we kind of connected and met and built a little bit of a relationship. So
speaking of one-on-ones, we were talking about business mentoring. All right.
Yes.
Kate does one-on-one Vectric help with you. If you want one-on-one help, then in the description of this video, you can go there and schedule some time with Kate if you're stuck on a project. I want to throw this up here. Mark Lindsay said, lubricate the glass. If you're going to use the diamond bit on glass, light oil, mineral oil will be good enough. So that's
really good advice.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I'll have to do that.
Definitely going to have to try it. That's for sure.
Good Lord. I'm a router bit company. I didn't know to do that. See,
hey,
always learning.
We're always learning.
We're always learning.
You can't know everything. I mean, come on now. What fun would that be?
Yeah.
Nobody likes to know it all. All right. Mr. John Parker with the 2 adorable little dogs. Garrett, are you excited about the SLB release?
That's the super long board from Longmill. So it is kind of going along the lines of the Massa, only a lot less expensive.
All right.
Yeah, so I am excited. I'm also excited about the alt mill. I will be getting that in the shop. And they are working on a CO2 laser. I can't wait.
That will be very cool.
Yeah. So super long board, I think, is going to be available in January, I believe.
You know, not to be like a total weirdo, but I just realized that my cup is the same color as my sweatshirt. Just saying.
That's being a weirdo.
That's being a total weirdo. That's okay. That's how I roll.
My cup just says IDC Woodcraft, and it's the same color as my wall. Okay, let's roll on.
All right, let's see. Sam says, I'm having issues spreading space between the letters in text when I have text on a curve. I'm using VCARVE desktop. All right, so Sam, what you will need to do is there's a little T within Vectric, and that is your spacing tool that you will need to click on that when you open a Vectric. I can't remember if it's next to, I think there's like the text tool and then like text in a box. And then next to that it's like a multi-layer looking T. That is your spacing.
You're talking about this little guy right there, right? Under create vectors.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yep. Under create vectors, the third row down, the third icon in is like a little cursor that's on that button. And that will space your letters.
Yes.
If you, let's see if I can just do that. I hate to mess my sign up, but I won't have to save it. I've engaged that, and I sit in between the letters here, and I start clicking, and the letters start moving in. All right, so you can do this with them on a curve as well. If I hit the shift button, they'll start moving out.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to hit the shift button and hold it, and then click your mouse button.
Yep. Or you can use control too. Control will move it small increments. Shift will make it bigger increments.
Yeah, that's control. It's jumping much further.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got control. Yeah, but that's the way you do it. It's that icon. That's how you set up your spacing.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Carolyn has a question. What website did you download that font? Vivaldi?
Yeah, if it's not on my computer, I'm not really sure.
Would it have been because I know you use 1001 fonts a lot, or would it have been DeFont?
Yeah. Well, you can find on, do a search. Just do a Google search for it, and you should be able to find a resource that has it.
Ooh, okay. Side note, speaking of fonts, I had a huge custom sign order come through that was on an epoxy multicolor pour. It was massive. Anyway, this font was making me mental. I could not find it anywhere. I couldn't even find anything similar to it. There is an app out there. I don't know that you can find it on the Droid app, but I know you can use it on the iPhone. It's called What the Font. And you can take a picture of the font, and then it will literally do a search for it. And if it has like, regular, and then it'll have italic, it'll have bold italic. And then you can go and look for that font. Just Google that font and find out where you can find it. But I will tell you this, for anybody who wants to know more information about this, do not go with the first option when you're looking for that font, because sometimes they want you to pay for that font. So I found this font and they were like, oh, it's $30 for the font. I was like, what? And so I just kind of kept scrolling down in my Google search, and I think it was like the fourth or fifth one down, and it was like, hey, download this for free. Like, you may have to watch an ad or something, but to save yourself $30 for a font, I'll do that all day, every day of the week.
Yeah, corporate saves. We'll buy that stuff. All right, but I did find it. I'm going to put a link in the comments, and it's free.
Very good.
And I just saw another comment, by the way, I wanted to bring out. Where was that? It's going on too fast. From Alan. He figured the muscle chuck would go fast. It's been great. To minimize vibration, loosen the nut on the chuck and the turn hole collet, very small amount. Keep trying until fixed. Oh, so I guess he's getting a little vibration out of the muscle chuck. So okay. The muscle chuck is a quick change. It's a quick change tool that replaces your nut and collet. And so I guess he's talking about a little bit of a balance issue or something. All right, okay. Next.
All right. When are those going to be back in, by the way?
We're waiting. So so this is a chuck. Oh, by the way, I will be stocking those for the ER20s and the 25s. I don't think he's got them for the ER11. He's getting a lot of requests for the DeWalt trim routers, so I may stock a few of those as well. For the Makita, he was getting the muscle chuck was getting a lot of requests, and so they made some samples just in time. Actually, I was talking to him for a little while, and it's so many people want it for the Makita router. I said, okay, we're going to start inventorying them. So he had to make some more. He's making 1,000, so I should see them in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
We'll send them an email out to the CNC insiders.
Get on that list. Get on that list.
Believe me, I don't like that stuff hanging out there.
No. All right. Hi, Dan. It has been a while. I know you're always here, but I haven't seen a good question from you come up. He says, everything was working perfectly on my test pieces, but suddenly my toolpaths won't even begin. Toolpaths were created in VCARVE desktop. Any ideas? I'm trying to finish a Christmas gift. You know, I did a one-on-one with someone today, and we had an issue where we were literally creating the toolpaths, and then we would hit calculate, and it wouldn't even run. A couple of times it ran the toolpath, and then another time we went back and it was like the toolpath had disappeared, like it wasn't there. So it's hard to say. What I told him to do, and we kind of like temporary fixed it, like Band-Aid solution, was we copied the entire design and we just opened a new Vectric and pasted it into there and then started over. And so sometimes, you know, you can try that. The other thing that I've noticed is Vectric is kind of like your computer or your internet browser. If you have too many different Vectrics open, you know, it can't remember every single place that you left off, because I know I'm guilty of that, and it's done that to me a couple of times as well. So save and close your other Vectrics that you might have open, different projects. What do you get? Any ideas over there?
I'm not. I'm thinking he's talking. He said he's did actually cut some test pieces and then toolpaths perfectly on test pieces.
They won't even begin.
Those toolpaths only begin. So if you're talking about actually at the machine, I would shut everything down and restart it all. Shut down your control software, shut down your machine, unplug it, plug everything back in, try it again. The next thing I would do is look for mechanical, some mechanical thing, a wire that is not working, that's not lost its connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had that happen on my first machine with the Bob's wire came off.
Okay. Well, if anybody has any other ideas, you know, let Dan know, help him out a little bit with that. Okay, so Chris is asking, with the muscle, how much surface area is there to grip the bit?
Good question. Surface area. So it's got a gripping area of 1/2 of an inch. It's got a collar on it. It's kind of a collar machined into a solid piece. And so that collar, that distance from the nut down to the end is where most of the gripping is taking place.
Okay.
So, but it has to be. It's a very tight machine fit in there. So, anyway, that was your answer.
All right. All right. So we have Rod Hessup. He says, I'm new to using VCARVE Pro to create toolpaths. My first machine I made myself. Wow, congratulations. And used a DOS-based software. Can you explain when to use conventional versus climb? I'm going to let you take this. My throat's a little dry, I'm not going to lie.
Okay. I have to read it because I was looking at what Julian wrote in the background. I'm new and using VCARVE Pro to create toolpaths. On my first machine, you made yourself. Use DOS-based software. Can you explain when to use conventional and climb? Okay. So I use climb cut as if we are doing a profile to cut out a project. Let's say we want to cut out the square. I keep pulling up Jennifer. Here, let's do Elizabeth. There we go. Oh, by the way, when we were on that live today, I was showing the Elizabeth and John ones, and there was a John and Elizabeth on, husband and wife. So I told them to send me an email, and I'll send these to them.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're doing a cutout on this, and you want a nice clean cut, you're going to use a climb cut as a finish cut. And what I mean by that is you are going to come in with a conventional cut first. And a conventional cut is when the router bit is cutting against itself. A climb cut is as if it's rolling with itself. So if climb cut would be going along the edge that way, like a tire rolling down the street. The thing with conventional, okay, is conventional cutting, the router bit is going to be deflected a little bit. And so what it's going to do on conventional, it's going to suck itself a little bit or deflect into the line, right? So if you are conventional cutting right on the line and you want to stay as precise as possible, you need to use an offset. Use that conventional to do all the roughing work. And then what an offset is, you're basically going to make another rectangle that's just slightly bigger than this one. And you'll cut around that rectangle. And then you can come in with your climb cut and do the main rectangle. And that climb cut will leave a cleaner surface than a conventional will. Did that make any sense?
Yes. See, I always
Okay.
thought it was backwards. I always used conventional for like 90% of my carving and climb for my roughing. That's what I've always done.
If
I'm
you
wrong
are,
on
yeah,
that.
well, so there's certain conditions here, right? That I guess I'm operating from too.
Like
In
everything.
metalwork, yes, in metalworking, our climb cuts would be when we're doing a finish cut. It's the
Okay.
same thing in woodworking, but remember when you're doing a conventional cut, if you're cutting out a profile, that router bit is going to want to pull itself into the line. If you're cutting it outside a profile, the router
Okay.
bit is want to deflect into that line, right? So you can actually come out with a project just slightly smaller than what you
And what you want.
what
Because
you
it's
originally
pulling
did.
it the bit is spinning. You said into
Think,
it, like rolling down like a tire rolling down the road was conventional.
think of it like this. So conventional, it's rotating like that, and it's moving that way. So what it's trying to do is trying to dig in. It's a cut going like that, and basically, it's the forces that cut is trying to pull itself in. It's like a shovel,
Okay. Okay.
right? If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that
All right.
shovel doesn't want to come back out. It wants to drive deeper into the material.
Got it.
Whereas a conventional wants to roll over the material.
Okay. All right.
So those are some.
All right. Rod, I hope that was clear.
Me too. I've always been challenged to explain conventional versus. We might have to get Mark back on here and see how he says it. How he
Yes.
explains it. He's got his own little country boy way of saying things that just make sense.
I'm into that. All right. Let's see what Mark's got here. He says some Vectric VCARVE jobs gray out all of my IDC bits in the tool library, and I struggle to figure out why. I'm able to choose other V bits in these cases. Interesting.
It'll gray out the bits. Number one in the Vectric software. I'm going to pop over there. Okay.
Can you
There's still
think of like an
14 questions.
instance why that would do that?
We still have 14 questions hanging out there, just so you know. Okay,
Alrighty.
so I'm going to come over here, and well, let's go into a tool path. So I'm going to create a V-carving tool path, and I'm going to select the tool. And right now, everything is good to go, but there are two grayed out bits here. And this is not showing all the bits. I don't remember how to get it to show all the bits. Right now, it's a V-carving toolpath. What it's going to do, it's going to gray out bits that aren't V-carve tools, right, for the particular toolpath that you're choosing. Let me close that. Also, the other thing I wanted to show before we get back into that. We go into the database, the IDC Woodcraft database. Make sure at the upper left, you're selected on hardwood. That's where the database is populated at. If I went to MDF, everything's grayed out. Okay?
Good to know.
Okay. It was so quiet, I couldn't tell.
No.
So Vectric will gray out things that will not correspond to a VCARVE.
All right.
And
Very
so
good to know.
it did that in the older software that I had. And nowadays, I think what Kyle said, he said that now what they've done is Vectric, or Mark said it, that the Vectric now, when you go into VCARVE, they've modified it so now it doesn't gray out a bunch of bits. It kind of parks them out of the way so you can't even see them.
Oh, okay. Well, very good.
And
All
Kyle,
right.
by the way,
Yeah.
Kyle he has created a course that will teach you all about the vector software, and that course would explain that far better than I've explained it. It's the only vector course out there if you're new to the vector software. As we are preaching all the time, Kate and I, you bought your machine, you bought your tooling, you spent a lot of money, but it's not going to cut itself. And we can fumble all we want through YouTube, but at the end of the day, we need to get our skill, right? And that is how you're going to get the best use of the vector software, is by taking his course. It's the only course out there, but it's definitely a deep dive course. And if you're interested in that, down in the description, you can check that out. It's linked down there.
Yeah, man.
All right, we got to rock and roll. We are at 9:40. We've been talking a lot and not doing as many questions. So we may not be able to get all this important question.
All right. Kate, when you switched over to a spindle, did you ever have a problem? I have a spindle and I have never finished a carve without the spindle stopping. I have tried everything. Oh, well, Gary, I am not sure. I would check with your manufacturer. There could be something gone inside the spindle. Maybe, a capacitor is going bad. I'm not sure. I wish I could give you a really good answer, but I would definitely reach out to whoever you bought the spindle from and see what's going on there, because that's just not something that, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to answer that, without having an in-depth look at it. So
we're not technical anyway. Yeah. Reach back to the company you got it from.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. We have Jim B. My question is, do CNC machines cut the designs exactly? Does everyone always need to sand the MDF wider? I don't know why I would need to sand the MDF wider.
Yeah.
If you're cutting on the line and you need it to be wider, maybe use the cut outside the line instead of on the line.
Yeah. CNC routers, depending on the machine, can cut exact. Yeah. It depends on the level of resolution that the steppers are set up at. Steppers meaning stepper motors, the motors that are actually making everything move.
Okay.
So yeah, I've gotten dead nuts on my long mill.
Yeah, my Onefinity is.
You'll get that on your Onefinity too.
Yeah, it's pretty exact.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Nana's Workshop. Did either of you know how to navigate the CNC program before purchasing one, or did you learn on the fly? Well, here was my experience. I know Garrett's has lots of experience in his field. I knew nothing about CNCs about 2.5 years ago. I knew I wanted to take my paint party business from using a vinyl machine and paint. I wanted to up the ante, if you will. So I looked up a lot of different machines. It was kind of a toss-up between a laser, a CNC machine, and a plasma machine. And I landed on the CNC machine because it's just gave me the look of what I wanted to do. So I made the plunge, bought the biggest model that Onefinity made at the time, which was the Journeyman X50. And I had about 6 months from the date that I ordered and the date that it would arrive. And I literally started looking on YouTube for people that kept showing up. Garrett, Mark Lindsay, there were a few others. But what the number one thing that I learned is to stick with someone who is consistent and someone that you can kind of follow a little bit of a path. Like that's what I love the most about Garrett and Mark and how they taught was they started at the very beginning and they kind of had a list and then they advanced. And I stuck with those two all the way through, and I had to make time every single night. Like anything you want to be successful at, you have to apply yourself every day. And that's what I did. I got a book. I made shortcuts. I would say, this was the video I'm watching tonight. I would write down all of my notes, shortcuts. I would review that. The next night I would pick a video, and I just kept at it. And that's something I still do at least once or twice a week. I try to pick somebody that's doing something that interests me now more at this point than more of like a technical, something. But there's a lot of things in Vectric that you can do. So many things. So just, push yourself, make it a priority, like anything.
Yeah. You whatever you do, get the, like, if you do Vectric, get the free trial and just start playing with it.
Yeah.
And watch videos. Watch videos, get some of the basic videos out there. Hey, did you know it is Jen's birthday? I didn't know that.
No.
No, there's people are saying happy birthday to Jen, and she's saying thank you.
Aw, well, happy birthday, Jen.
Well, yeah. Liberty
All
and both Liberty and Julian said happy birthday to her.
Well,
Jen
that's
said,
awesome. See, I knew I liked Jen. Like, I just
Chris
knew
said
instinctively I
birthday,
liked her
yeah.
because we're both December. We're both Capricorns and like
Yeah.
strong. We're just both strong women.
You know what? Amen, Jen, for saying, hey, guess what? It's my birthday. We are all worthy of being celebrated. I've known people that said won't tell people it's their birthday. Yeah.
That's
me.
crazy.
I'm out there. Hey, guess what? Today's my birthday. All right, let's do the next question. We are not going to be able to hit the rest of these questions all the way through. And let's try to hammer them out.
Let's do it. John Parker, how would using filler on a spoil board work out instead of a new spoil board? I've never really thought about that. I don't know what type of filler you would use. Thoughts?
I don't know. Thoughts on my end is I never thought about it. So now
we're thinking about it.
Now we're thinking about it.
All right, John. Good job being an inventor.
Yeah, it's an idea. So okay.
All right. Let's see what we've got. MK Ultra CNC. I have a question about working with fourth axis if you have time.
I haven't worked with fourth axis. I think Kate hasn't either. So
me neither.
Not here.
What you can do is go check out Kyle's course over at learnyourcnc.com. There's links in the description of this video. Kyle is the Mac daddy of all things CNC, especially when it comes to the crazy fourth axis, rotary, you name it. He literally can ask him a question and he'll come back at you. Go check him out.
I'll start doing some content on that.
Yeah. So we have Mr. Wayne. Hello. Isn't a V-bit needed to use clean up tight points of the letters when you write your name in cursive? I mean, if you really want a V-bit look, it's really about the look. It's not so much about cleaning up the tight corners. I mean, personally, if I'm going to write cursive like Garrett did with that Elizabeth script, I'm going to assume that he would use a V-bit just because it's a really cool font. And
yeah,
V-bits
I think.
Yeah,
I think where this question is going is instead of using like a 16th down cutter or something like that, all right, V-bits and allow you to do this type of stuff where it gets fat right there, and then it goes thin right across the gen. V-bit is what you want to use to accomplish that.
Yeah.
You can't get this with using nice and crisp with the down cutters unless you're stepping down finer and finer and finer.
All right. Let's see. Is there such a thing as a steady rest or something to give support to your work between the chuck and tailstock?
Yeah, I'm sure there would be. A steady rest is Steady rest is chuck and tailstock. He's talking about a rotary. And so you have your chuck and the tailstock. There's going to be a steady rest on this tailstock, or that centerpiece, right? The steady rest is actually, it's the thing that goes up around it. Am I thinking right? This has been a long time. See, there's a pin that goes in on the chuck, and the chuck puts pressure on the tailstock through the material. And that would be that steady rest. Right, but there's another thing, another contraption that actually wraps around and it contacts 3 points, and you can spin around that thing too. I'm sure there's such a thing out there. If not, we'll have to come up with it.
Oh, all right. Mr. Dan has a question for us. Have you ever tried V-transfer from Vectric for using G-code instead of G-sender, UGS, etc.?
Nope, I haven't.
I have
Never
not
even heard
either.
of it. Yeah, never even heard of it.
No, I think I can't remember. I think I can use it with. I think I can use the V transfer with my Onefinity, but it's not something I've ever used because I don't have internet capabilities in my shop. So I don't know if that's the same thing that I'm thinking of. I mean, you have to give me a little grace here because it's been a couple of years since I've even looked into it. So I'm not sure.
Sorry, I got to laugh at this. We got a couple contributions at just now here. And,
okay, let's see what we got.
Yeah. So, Jim, got your pre-order? Wink, wink.
Rotten apples. Rotten.
This is down payment on the Badger.
Oh, all right, we see you.
This is a painful little dude. This was a jab, man. This is one of those ones that makes me go, oh my God. Now this is where reciprocity kicks in. Don't drop us an email.
Patience, young grasshopper. Patience.
Yes. All right, who else we got? That was good.
Oh, sorry.
Another
You
Jim.
popped one in.
Okay.
The mouse is
another
All
Jim.
right.
Merry Christmas, IDC crew. You rock. So that would be Julianne and Liberty back there, and Kate is a pseudo member of IDC Woodcraft. Right, she's on the website.
Yaman.
Teaching 101s. Yep. So
we all have our part.
Yep. Julianne will pop you back out. Spin a little bit. You ready? There she is.
Yeah.
So there's the other. There's the IDC crew that you can see, and Liberty, if she's still in the background, she's the other one.
She is. Yeah, she's running comments where I can't get to them.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious!
What a great crew! What a great crew!
Yeah, man. Everybody's here doing their job.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. That's to
Yes,
all
thank
of
you,
us.
Jim.
So
very, very nice.
yeah,
All right.
Last one, we got another one.
Oh, Mad Dog. Hello, friend.
What's going on,
He says,
brother?
late to the party. Just wanted to say
quite
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. A Happy New Year. Although we will be here next Wednesday, and we are going to have a master woodcarver on. Do not miss next Wednesday.
Yes.
Do not miss it.
Yes.
This is a master guy. Bring your finishing questions. Please.
I mean,
All
this guy is wow.
Through the roof, master.
Like absolutely incredible. He does a lot of work for Disney. Like you go to Disney World or Disneyland and you see all those like insane wood carvings like up above the roller coasters or just anywhere in the park. This guy has created them. Like you guys will just be like pew, insane. He's incredible.
Let's see. I'm bringing up some stuff he's done. Okay, I'm going to share screen. All right. So,
by the way, while he's doing that, y'all need to hit that like button for us, please. We would love that. It just helps get this out so more people can join us. I only see 3 people have liked this video. We need y'all to hit that like button. Thank you so much.
Can you
Look
see
at
that? It's hand
Hand
carved. Yeah.
Hand
He
carved.
also has a course, a CNC course, and walks you through the whole finishing process. So these are some of the small stuff that he does. This is like, I was surprised he sent me those pictures. All right. So I have to talk to him. Because I was just like, that's not nearly the quality, the level of stuff that he does. It's insane. All right, let's get a couple more. We got to try to knock this down. We got 4 more left.
All right, let's do
So we
it.
can do it before 10 o'clock.
Mike is asking, follow-up, do you plan to add chip load info for your bits on the app for your customers that are not using benchtop CNC? I would like to run faster, but not sure how much faster.
We will eventually, yes. We're getting ready to add industrial level stuff, so we'll have to have a chip load calculator on there, or chip load, and we'll add a chip load calculator. So we're getting ready to put industrial settings on there. IDC Woodcraft is getting ready to stock larger bits, 1/2 inch. I even got someone that wants 3/4 inch. Hogs.
Good God. Are they making like bobsleds or
they are knocking stuff out. All right, bring it on.
All right, let's do it. All right. Golf Sim Spike. Thanks for all the good education. Made my first sign today. Don't think you're getting out without doing the happy dance. He says it came out great.
If he's still on, we are running pretty late now, but yeah.
All right, let's see who we got here. We got Mike. Kate wanted to fill the sign letters with epoxy. What would you consider the minimum depth of the letters? So minimum depth is a 0.25, 1/4 of an inch for filling letters with epoxy. Minimum. I'm sorry, not minimum. 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch is minimum, but I will tell you this. If you are going to surface your project after you are done, always carve at least 0.25. That's what I do. That's just like a safety. You know, I would much rather have go just a little bit deeper. And if I surface off, I'm not going to have like chip out. I'm not going to have some of the lines that are going to look, you know, like they're not there. Basically, they look really faded if you don't carve your epoxy deep enough. And after you've carved the sign, spent the time buying the epoxy, putting the epoxy into your sign, and then surfacing it, the very last thing you want to do is to realize that you have not carved deep enough and that your project doesn't look like you want it to look. So, you know, make sure you do at least a 1/4 of an inch if you're surfacing. If not, you can totally get away with an 1/8 of an inch.
Okay. Mark Lindsay said something about V-Transfer. He said it's no replacement for good controller software. He said it's very limited. G-Sender is free, and it's constantly being updated. It's the only one, I think, that is actually being updated seriously for machines.
Well, that's good to know. All right. Let's see. Mr. Larry Brown. Kate, where is the CNC crafters map on your site? So let me do a share screen here real quick. Oop, hang on. Sorry. All right, I'm just going to share this. Rats. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. I wasn't prepared.
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments that are going on over here.
Oh boy, troublemakers.
Julian, Mark, and Liberty, and Chris. I like this. I got to throw it. Go ahead, do your thing, and I'll throw this one comment.
No, you're fine. Okay, so over here it's WWC Network. It's actually for Women Who CNC Network. So you can click on that, and then down here you can start to see some of the other people that will pop on here. but you can add your business. There's all kinds of, once we get more and more people on here, like I said, this was just released. You can add all of your info on there. So
sign in, men or women, sign in.
Yeah.
Really,
You got it.
All right, I got to throw this in. These guys are having fun. They're getting tired and goofy. And so Chris threw in, is thing 1 plus thing 2 equal thongs?
Things.
Thongs? Things?
Julianne's going, oh my gosh.
Thongs. It's thongs. He spelled it wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, come on. We got one more super sticker.
Joel.
It's thongs, by the way. He spelled it wrong.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel. That was very generous of you. And Chris, you're on right. Yes, it's getting late. It's 10 o'clock here for Garrett and I. We're, I'm old now. I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm not old. I would never say that. It's bedtime, y'all. It's bedtime. Okay, can I just say this? Like, I know it's late. We have literally officially the live before Christmas. We have been on here 2 hours. I can see Garrett's tired. I'm tired. I have literally been out here busting my behind in the shop all week long, like trying to get stuff caught up. By the way, side note, tomorrow, I was going to go Monday and get the table surfaced. James had something come up. So I'm going to Kentucky tomorrow. We're loading this big, beautiful table up, going to Kentucky, making my 2.5-hour trek. So you may get some really fun content of me making that journey down there to go meet with our CNC brother James and his very big 4x8 machine and his 3.5-inch surfacing bit to help me
do some live or do something.
Hey, maybe I'll stop by and just see all of y'all, because like Madison is literally like,
yeah, come on by
on the way. I'll stop and have fun. Harass all of you.
Yeah. Bedtime.
So, all right.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. Be safe.
Merry
Enjoy
Christmas.
your family. And we will see you next Wednesday with Ray Kinman. Be there or be square. You're going to get some serious learning. Mark, thanks for hanging out and helping. And all the other CNC brothers and sisters who helped each other here.
Got it.
We will talk to you next time.
All right. Merry Christmas.